Welcome to Serendipity Yoga, where today's focus within our practice is going to be our hands. We don't give a lot of thought to our hands until they don't feel right. They don't feel happy. So today we're going to bring them some love and some attention to give them what they truly deserve. So you don't need any props for today's practice, just you and your hands. But I do invite you to find a comfortable spot wherever you're sitting, and this can be done sitting in a chair, on a couch, on the floor, or on your yoga mat. I just ask though that you can sit up tall and soften the shoulders down away from your ears. Let's start off with drawing our attention into our body and toward our breath. So perhaps softening your eyes, maybe even closing your eyes. And start to check in with your body, just a quick scan from head to toe to notice how you're feeling. Not trying to change a thing, but creating awareness as to where within your body you feel strong, where you feel powerful, but also creating awareness as to where you might feel tight, tired, or even sore. And as you do this scan and do this little inventory throughout the body, when you're finished, just kind of tucking it into your back pocket or leaving it beside you so you can refer back to it. Because if you encounter any of those spots where you feel tight or tired, you might choose to be a little bit more kind, maybe gentle within our practice today. Perhaps though, you might encounter a spot where you feel strong or powerful, and you might choose to add in a layer or two of challenge. If you've softened or closed your eyes, I invite you to, with your next breath, start to blink them open, taking in the light around you and taking in all of those things around you. With your next inhale, let's extend the left arm out in front of the body, pressing into that palm, a nice straight line of energy from your shoulder to your wrist. And really pressing into that palm as if you're pushing something away from you. With your next exhale, perhaps you can soften that left shoulder a little bit. It doesn't have to be tight to your ear, and it might have started to creep up. So we're going to keep that arm nice and long and pressing into the palm. Let's take the right hand and we'll draw back on the fingers. We'll leave the thumb for now, but inviting a stretching to that hand, maybe feeling into the wrist. And you're not pulling back ever to the point of pain, but you may be pulling back to a point where you feel some discomfort. Discomfort's okay, because that's where we grow from. Coming back to the connection with your breath, focusing on your inhale and your exhale. And perhaps with your next exhale, you can soften your shoulder a little bit, because again, it might have started to creep up towards your ear. Now you may find as you hold this stretch through the fingers, the palm, and your wrist that the stretch doesn't feel quite as strong as what it was when you first started. And if that's happened, I invite you to maybe, depending on how you feel, go a little bit deeper into that stretch. Maybe draw back on those fingers a little bit more. Just finding that Goldilocks spot where this isn't too hard, but it's not easy. Let's hold here for one more inhale. We're going to leave the arm where it is. With an exhale, let's release the fingers. And with your next inhale, very gently starting to draw back on that thumb. Again, never to the point of pain, but you might feel a little bit of discomfort. Checking in on that left arm. Are you still pressing into the palm? Because we are looking for that activation, that strength in the arm. Noticing how you're breathing. Becoming aware of whether or not you're even thinking about your breath. And you might not have been. You might have been thinking about that thumb. So drawing your attention back to your breath. Focusing on your inhale and your exhale. Let's take one more inhale. Again, leaving the arm where it is. With an exhale, releasing that thumb. That might feel really good to release that thumb. Leaving that arm nice and strong, pressing into the palm. Let's turn the hand until the fingertips are pointing down toward your mat. We'll take that right hand back once again, wrapping around the top of the left hand and drawing back into your stretch. Checking that that pinky is getting this stretchy love as well. And reconnecting to your breath. Perhaps a quick check-in on how you're sitting on your mat. Your body might have started to lean to one side or to the other, and if you're sitting on a couch, maybe you've started to lean back or even forward. Just see if you can come back sitting tall with shoulders stacked over your hips. So with a lot of these things that we're going to do today, they're going to feel probably really good when we come out of the pose, and we're getting really close here. So let's hold for an inhale. One more little stretch through that hand. And with an exhale, releasing both arms, we'll let them float down toward the legs. Take a moment, compare hands. How does one feel compared to the other? And we've created a little bit of tension in that left wrist today, so let's just make some circles here. First in one direction and then the other. Releasing anything that we've created. It might take us longer to release anything we've carried with us onto the mat today. Let's flick out the fingers and flick out the hands. And then, to balance out, we're going to move to the other side. So with an inhale, extending the right arm out in front of the body, pressing into that palm. Nice straight line of energy from shoulder to wrist. With an exhale, softening your right shoulder, letting it float down away from the ear. With an inhale, we'll take the left hand. Let's draw back on the fingers, finding your stretch here. And I know what might have just happened. You might have started to compare one side of the body to the other. We're human, we do that. But try to let go of that comparison, let go of the ego, and instead, maybe take a moment here to send gratitude inward, to thank yourself for what your body is doing for you, rather than focusing on what it isn't. Let's take one more inhale in this stretch, leaving the arm where it is. On the exhale, releasing the fingers. Inhale, gently drawing back on your thumb. And always being kind to the thumb because it's getting all of the attention right now compared to the four fingers. And really listening to your body. And not comparing yourself to what I'm doing, or maybe if you're doing this with someone else, comparing your thumb to their thumb. Instead, finding your Goldilocks spot. Let's take one more inhale. Exhaling, releasing the thumb. Let's turn all of the fingers down to point toward the floor, and then we'll draw back on the top of that right hand with your left hand, finding your stretch here. Again, checking that the pinky finger is getting included. And we're going to continue to hold this stretch, but for a moment, let's redirect our attention to our bottom, to our glute muscles. Our body tends to be in a condition of fight or flight response, getting ready just in case something happens where we have to respond. So your glutes, without realizing it, they might have started to tense up, to firm up. You might even find that you're sitting a little bit taller because of that. As you check in with your glutes, if they are firm, I invite you to firm them a little bit more with an inhale, tighten them right up. And then with an exhale, let them soften. You might find that you sink down a couple of inches. And this way we're releasing that response, and we can draw our attention back to the stretch. And we're going to hold in this stretch for one more inhale. And then on the exhale, releasing both hands. Oh, doesn't that feel good? Let's shake out those fingers. Roll out the wrists, first in one direction and then the other. and then we'll come back to stillness. We're going to do 2 more things for our hands today. With an inhale, let's bring both hands up in front of the body and we'll spread the fingers as wide as you can. Big high five. Holding here. And from here, let's move into a thumbs up. So we're wrapping the fingers in toward the palm, thumbs up toward the ceiling, and some pressure in those thumbs to hold them up. From here, let's move into as if we were saying, wait a minute. So the fingers come in, the thumb comes in, index fingers pointing up toward the ceiling. So from 1 finger, let's move into 2. So peace fingers come up and we'll open them wide. Let's bring 3 fingers up, but we'll bring them in tightly together. This might feel a little awkward. That ring finger might have a mind of its own. Let's bring all fingers up and we'll open them wide. For those Trekkies out there, live long and prosper. Let's turn the hands until the fingertips are pointing toward each other, and we'll make some little scissor motions. And from here, let's come back into that high five, spreading the fingers wide. So let's do that again. Thumbs up. Wait a minute. Peace. 3 fingers up, we'll bring them together tight. 4 fingers up, opening up, live long and prosper. Let's turn the hands, fingertips pointing toward each other, scissor motions, and back to our high five. Oh, let's shake that out. Those hands are working hard this morning. And let's do 1 more. So we'll do both hands at the same time. So let's bring both hands back up. We'll bring the fingers in tightly toward each other, thumbs out, like an L, like the reverse L. And from here, let's take the tips of the thumbs over to the base of the pinky finger. And then back out wide. Let's take the thumbs to the base of the ring finger. And out wide. Thumbs into the base of the middle finger. And out wide. And you know it, thumb to the base of the index finger. And out wide. We'll do that 1 more time. Thumb to the base of the pinky and out. Thumb to the base of the ring finger and out. Thumb to the base of the middle finger and out. And last time, thumb to the base of the index finger and out. Oh, let's release those hands. We'll shake that out. So that wasn't a lot of time together today, but just a few minutes to draw that attention to the hands, to the fingers. So let's come to a point where we can close this little practice together. Softening or closing your eyes, perhaps bringing hands to heart center. Let's take a deep inhale. We'll sit tall with an exhale, lengthening through the neck, allowing the chin to float down toward the chest. I hope you take a moment this morning to thank yourself for making this time for you. I hope you take a moment to thank your hands and your fingers and your body for everything that they do for you. And I thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking this time. Thank you for your energy. Namaste.